Listen to me, motherfucker. I'm talking. I say horrible things sometimes because I think they're funny. My podcast is a verbal mosh pit because it's just me pinwheeling around. You don't know where the fuck I'm going to wind up, and I generally have no idea when it's going to end or start. I'm responsible for this whole goddamn thing. I want a little respect from you people. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. Yes, it is year 3 of that podcast. But unfortunately, everything old is new again, right? Is that how you say it? Everything new is old again? I'm sitting here. I've been sitting here wondering what to talk about. I don't know how to talk or start this show. I don't know what to go into because it's year 3. First of all, let's welcome all of the new people who are joining us for year 3. God knows there are plenty of them. I've lured them in after my incredibly successful debut as an interviewer, as I talked to the band Rock Sugar on the last episode of year 2, which I think is still up. I don't think we've dragged down all of the episodes of year 2. I'll tell you this: you can purchase year 2. Not yet. I'll get to that. Because why the fuck would anything ever go smoothly for me? Seriously, I can't believe the reason I say everything old is new again is because I'm coming to you. If you're all right, year 2, when you buy year 2, and you will, because it is so good. It is fantastic. It's something you want to have as a collector's item in your house. You may already have it now. Buy the year 2 set when it's available. It's not available yet, folks, and I'll get to why. But it will be available eventually. That's my friend Lily Von Stubbs. It's actually close enough for me to grab now. That's fun. She was she's close enough for. All right, I'm going to get to why she's close enough to grab now. All right, here's the thing. And you're really close now, so I don't know how your laugh's going to play. You know what I mean? It's like before you were far away. I might have to roll away. I'm very close to Lily now during this show. This is closer than we've ever been during a show. Because when we were doing the show, first of all, we were in her ex-husband's kitchen, which at the time was also her kitchen. Funny how that works. But now it's just her ex-husband's kitchen. So he's there doing his thing. And certainly, you know what he's not having? A fat guy doing a podcast. I'm sure that's not happening in his goddamn kitchen. And good for him. But I can tell you that then we moved on. In year 2, the beginning of year 2, we relocated. We had to go to a different location, and Lily, in an undisclosed location. Which, by the way, all right. So all of year 2, I did the show at Lily's new house. It became her old house as the year progressed. But we moved into her new house, and I was fucking furious because then she was living with a clown and a fucking guy in his underwear. I talked about all that last year, folks. Again, there's going to be a lot of repetitive stuff in here because I have to cover a lot of ground. In year 2, in the first episode, I told you all about how I wanted to have things working right and for sale that weren't for sale, but I did have merchandise for sale available in year 1, episode 1. No, year 2, episode 1. Okay, year 2, episode 1. Well, now year 2, episode 2. No, Year 3, episode 1. I'm sorry, folks. I'm groggy because I am in a kitchen being stared at by a gigantic Ronald McDonald head. I wish it wasn't true. I wish I could take a photo and put it up, but that's in the pipeline. Eventually, there will be a plan for me to do that sort of thing. But now Lily's moved again. All right, so in year 2, episode 2, Lily had just moved out of her ex-husband's house, and I was sitting at an art table like a child, hitting my head against a wall because I couldn't fucking believe that I was going to be there with her and a clown and a bondage guy. And I'm like, oh, Christ, why am I in this goddamn apartment? And now, here it is, episode 1 of year 3, and I'm in a new fucking house again. Lily moved again. My producer is a vagabond, folks. She's on the run from the law. I don't know if she's ducking creditors. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but now she's moved into a new place. And good news is she cut loose the bondage guy. So he and his fucking stormtrooper boots and his fucking swastika and his riding crop, that guy can fucking take off and we don't have to worry about him anymore. He can go play his World of Warcraft all night long in somebody else's house and get a ride to Burger King on his own. But this is a guy who's so brutal. That guy, he constantly needed rides everywhere. Like he'd be in the house and he'd be like, oh, and then he's one of the, all right, dude, he's my Facebook friend. He's a good guy. Look, he's a nice man. But is there anything more lonely than a guy posting for a ride on Facebook? Oh, good God, go wait for a bus. Go wait for a goddamn bus. What are you doing putting it, hey, can anyone give me a ride to the Ren Fair? No, is there a lonelier sentence ever typed in the world? Then can anyone give me a ride to the Ren Fair? And then parenthetically, he actually put, and hopefully back. Like, so he was like negotiating to where as long as he got to the Ren Fair, he was okay. As long as you gave him a ride to the Ren Fair, he was fine. But then parenthetically, he had to add, and hopefully you could give me a ride back. But I guess that's negotiable. As long as I can get there and eat a giant mutton leg, then I'll be happy. Getting home is on me. But if someone can just get me there so I can have a flagon of mead and pinch Jan Maiden on the ass, that would be fine. If I can just get there and put some comely lass in the stocks, then I'll be thrilled with myself as I whip her, and I don't care about getting home. That's what it said to me when he wrote, and hopefully back. Oh, don't ever type that you need a ride to the Ren Fair on Facebook. Jesus God. If you don't have any sort of transportation to get you to the Ren Fair, you're not going to the Ren Fair. Don't publicly beg to get brought to the Ren Fair. You shouldn't even want to go to the Ren Fair. Anyway, how did I spin off on that guy? So he's not here anymore. He's out. They cut that guy loose. And they didn't just cut him loose. They cut the whole apartment loose. They've moved. And now Lily, let me tell you about Hollywood. Lily still lives in Hollywood. You're right there. You're way too close. She's choking. That's not good. And not her first incidence of choking in this building. I can tell you that she now lives in Hollywood, folks. There's new, and then there's stuff that's been around forever. Okay, there are buildings that are new and they have like new rug. Her old apartment where she lived was fairly modern. It seemed like it was fairly new. It was, you know what it was? It looked like every other ant farm apartment you go to in the world. It had that same kind of beige or gray carpeting. It had the same white beige walls, eggshell, cream, whatever you want to call them. Envelope, whatever the fuck color it is. Ecru, yeah. Aryan. I think that's what it was. The walls were Aryan. That's why he wanted to live there. That's why the bondage guy wanted to live there, because it was Aryan. Why am I making him a Nazi? He's not a Nazi at all. Because riding crop was in my head, and the first thing I think of when I think of riding crop is swastika. Yeah, because of fucking... No, riding crop, I immediately go to the Nazis. That's where I go. I completely eliminate the sport of kings, and I go right to the Holocaust. That's where I make my leap. I think of a riding crop, and I immediately think of the worst atrocities ever perpetrated upon man. I certainly don't think of the atrocities perpetrated upon horse. Because let's face it, isn't every horse race a tiny Holocaust for horses? Yes. They're all getting whipped and punished, and they have to carry a guy on their shoulders. Do horses have shoulders? Yes. They have haunches, right? It's the same thing, right? All right. I don't know. Sure, you're just nodding at this point. Shoulder horse. Is there a shoulder horse? No, a pommel horse. Pommel horse is what you jump on. Shoulder horse. I don't know. You're just talking. See, look what you're doing. You're baiting me. You're throwing out red herrings, and I'm following that trail. And then eventually you're gonna pull the string. The stick's gonna go, and you're gonna catch me under a box. That's what you're doing. You're putting out verbal candy. I'm gobbling it up, and eventually you'll pull the stick, and I'm under the box, trapped. Look what you're doing to me. That's not good. Oh, all right. So here I sit in the new place. And by new, folks, new is a relative term. New is because they're new to living here. But this place, this may have been the first building ever built in Hollywood. I think they actually put up the H and the O of the Hollywood sign, and they said, "Whew, let's take a break," and they built this building. And they went back up and put up the goddamn sign, because this is actually the building Montgomery Clift hanged himself in. I mean, it is one of those old school fucking, like, you ever see Pulp Fiction? In the beginning, when they go to that elevator and has like that ratty door that slides and they get in it, it's the loudest elevator where you think you get. It's the kind of elevator you get in and you wonder if it might be a trash compactor. You actually. You worry for a second that the walls and the ceiling are going to close in and squeeze you down into a little cube and dump you into a junkyard. That's what's going to happen in this goddamn elevator. And how old is this building? There's no buzzer, but it's still locked. Like, they don't want the public in at all, period. Like, they don't want you to let them in, and they don't want them to get in. It's crazy.
There is a buzzer.
I called you.
There's no longer a bellman down there to let you in.
There's no longer a bellman?
Yeah, it was a hotel.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's not 1958 anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
1940-something.
This was
built in 1940-something.
This was built in 1940-something? Well, please be very specific. And I won't give away the location, even though this is funny. All last season, all year two, I lived where I lived with Lily, or I didn't live with Lily, but where I did the show with Lily. I would always avoid saying where she was. I would say, oh, she's sort of here, she's sort of there, you go here. And then when she moves, she has a yard sale and puts her address on Facebook. So where I get people writing me and going, hey, Lily just gave away the undisclosed location of where she lived. Which, I mean, I don't care. She's doing a yard sale. What the fuck? Is she not supposed to tell people where she's at? If anything, people should be like, hey, come on, can I come over and buy the table that Mike Schmidt sat at and did year 2 of episode 1 of the 40-Year-Old Boy? Actually, it wasn't even episode 1. I sat at a different table for episode 1, episode 2, from episode 2 through 52. The art table was 2. Now I'm sitting at a what is this?
It's a Makita workbench.
I'm at a Makita workbench doing this, folks. Because let's face it, I am doing work. I am a guy who brings his tools and goes to work. So I am here in the oldest building in Hollywood, and here's my favorite. It's made of solid brick. Like outside, it's all brick, and I walk in, and I will tell you this, it's very nice. Honestly, to me, it is much nicer than the old place she lived because she told me about it, and here was her description. She's like, "Oh, it used to be a hotel back in the '40s." I don't know why she's talking like she's from the '40s. That was weird. It used to be a hotel back in the '40s. But she's like, "Yeah, it used to be a hotel back in the '40s, but they put together a regular room and a single room." And made a bigger room for us. And again, folks, you saw from the YouTube clips. If you didn't, go to my YouTube channel right now and look at the piles upon piles of debris that were in her whole old place. And so she said that this place was even smaller. It's like a one, because that place was a 3-bedroom. This place is a 1-bedroom. And I'm like, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like to go there because honestly, we're going to film a segment in here, and a producer from A&E is going to see it and go, all right, yeah, we got to get over there and film a show immediately. If not Hoarders, we can make some other name up. We'll figure something out because not only are you hoarding, but you're hoarding weird stuff. Like I understand Hoarders, like they'll have like 1,000 envelopes, right? Like isn't that their deal? They just can't stop themselves. They just keep collecting shit and they fucking build a goat path through it and then everything's fine. But here, I mean, you've got tassel fucking lamps and a giant Ronald McDonald head. God damn it, I wish I could take a picture of it. You know what, I'm gonna. I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it up tonight. I'll Twitter it because that will go out just so you guys can see exactly what the fuck I'm staring at. I'm literally looking right at it. It's like if I look forward, I can see the front door, and then if I look to my left, boom, Ronald is just there, scoping me out. So even when the clown isn't here, he's left a clown-type presence. And it's like one of those Ronald McDonalds that inflates balloons, so he's got like the thing in his mouth, but I think it's a camera. I think the clown has decided he's going to film us and find out that there's no shenanigans because he and Lily are an item. I don't know if you're aware of that. People always ask me that too. They're like, they think that you guys like just live with the clown like you're platonic roommates. No, Lily lives with nobody platonically. She wasn't even platonic with the bondage guy. They were tying her up and huh?
I'm pounding the clown.
She's pounding the clown. And I am too, although not here. I do that at my house when I'm alone. But yeah, so here I sit in the new place. Everything's the same, man. This is literally this might be by year 2, and when you listen to the second episode, you're gonna go, fuck. Oh, okay, yeah, it's just like that when she moved. I don't know. Are you gonna move every year? Is that what it's gonna be? What?
Never again.
Did you just hear that?
Yes, something fell off the fridge.
Something. How does something fall off the fridge? They're magnets.
Apparently, they're not good ones.
Jesus. All right. Oh man, folks. I am. I don't know if you know this. Do you know Zach Galifianakis just got $5 million to do the Hangover sequel? Yeah, that's right, $5 million. He deserves it. Fucking hysterical. And a guy that I've met and I like, and he seems nice, and he's always nice to me. And I am doing a podcast out of the oldest building in Hollywood. That's what I'm using. I'm doing the newest technology from the oldest location. That's what I plan on doing the rest of my life. I will look for the only thing I will be able to do next is if I do a laser light show from a cave. That's what I plan on doing. Some sort of skywriting from a cave. Oh my Christ. What a failure. What a goddamn 42-year-old failure. Ah, folks. Again, free show. I have no future. There's nothing here. My future consists of doing more of this, like talking into a headset for free in different locations. Wherever Lily goes, I have to follow her around. Because I won't get my shit together to record it myself. And besides, even if I did record it myself, what am I going to do? Then I'm just a maniac. People are always, because I'll get people bitching sometimes. They'll be like, oh, you should either give Lily a microphone or have her not laugh. What drives me crazy, here's something that really drives me crazy. When people write me who are new to the show, like they're new people who listen, and they go, oh, man, I would listen a lot more if you didn't have that girl laughing because I don't want to hear that girl laughing. Oh, well, I'm glad you came in episode 99 of The Run and decided to get me to change. Look, I got news for you. If that girl's not laughing, I'm not talking. Because seriously, this is a show for one person, and that's it. If she's not responding, you'll hear a lot of me going, "Oh, Jesus, I thought that was funny. Oh, wait a minute, was that funny?" Look, I'm neurotic enough. You don't want to hear it if she's not laughing. Believe me. Then I'll just fucking crawl inside myself and evaporate. That'll be it. I'll fucking disappear. It'll be like a snake eating its tail. I'll just fucking climb up my own ass and disappear. All right. What was I talking about? Your building. Talking about your. I like this building. I can't. Honestly, I wish I could deny this building because, but I'll tell you what. It has that. It has that smell. It smells like. It smells like Robert Mitchum and gin. You know what I mean? Like that old Hollywood type of. I would imagine this is what the like that. This is the aftershave of the. You would smell at Mann's Chinese Theater after some Susan Hayward film debuted. It's like that kind of smell. And but I like it. I don't want to sound like I don't like it. I do like it here. It's much better than the last one because the last one again we were kind of the creepy roommates were right on top of me and I didn't enjoy it. But this one, so I like I said, it's an old building and it's a brick building. And I come upstairs and first of all she has to come get me. There's no buzzer. We talked about that, but you said there is a buzzer, but the bellman's off. I don't know why you contributed that nugget. I don't know why you felt like you needed to jump in with that bullshit. Don't defend the building, all right? It's a nice building. I think it's fine, except for the fact that I come up. I like I said, solid brick building. I come in and she goes, yeah, it's so great. We got a ton of windows. The only bad thing is there's no air, but that's not going to be a problem. Really? It's not a problem right now in fucking March/April, but when it gets to be July/August, I can't wait to show up at this fucking steam bath and try to do a goddamn podcast. Literally, the only good news about it is Lily will be more naked than she usually is. So I'll be able to come in here and be like her in a bra and like a fucking bikini sling. Is that what that's called? Because it's like I just found out there's a new thing called a bikini. A bikini sling is not it's not a thong because it doesn't have a whale tail. It's just string. So it's a bikini sling. The things I learned from Ice-T's wife Coco. All right, that's right. I follow her on Twitter. Dude, I use Twitter for evil. I don't use Twitter for good because I barely Twitter. I Twitter sometimes. Folks, if you're new to the show, I do Twitter. Go follow me at Twitter. I'll talk about it later in the show. But I follow like porn stars and stuff like that on Twitter because I think that's interesting. All right, never mind. Why? Who cares? Nobody cares. Because that's what literally it's the internet. So there should be some porn element involved, right? Okay, your building. That's what I was talking about. So I like this building. So again, you have to. She said they combined like a one bedroom and a single. So I didn't know what that was. So, but I walk in. This place is gigantic. I mean, it's certainly less gigantic because it's piled full of her shit. I mean, it's just. It's literally nothing but, like I said, a Makita workbench and a fucking Ronald McDonald head and an empty jerky bottle and all sorts of bullshit. But you walk down, there's like a hallway, and then there's like I will tell you this though, it has that, like I said, it has that smell and that old elevator. This is exactly like the hotel I had to stay in on Hollywood Boulevard when I couldn't make a left-hand turn. That's also from year 2, folks. But this is just like it, except for the roach powder. There's no roach powder in your hallway yet, thankfully. Although we just heard a little scritching in the wall. I think that might be a rat. I think there's rats in the walls. But she says it's the next door neighbor guy.
Next door neighbor, they have a dog.
You have a dog? You can have pets in this building?
Not anymore.
So why does he have a dog?
Here, they have to die. You can't get a new pet.
So your pets are grandfathered in? Old pets are grandfathered in, but you can't, because you would have gone crazy if you could have a dog.
The dog is like 15 years old. I mean, it's gonna.
Wait a minute, you've been here like 4 minutes. How do you know all this about this guy's fucking dog?
I know all my neighbors already, and the people here are so. They can hear me, trust me, but
I don't care.
I know all my neighbors, and the people here are so cool. I met like this 82-year-old man who's lived in this building for 35 years, and he's like, "This is the best building ever. I've lived here when the movie stars lived here, not the actors and the famous people today for sleepy. I'm talking movie stars lived here."
Good Lord.
That was awesome.
That's not good. That's awful. Nobody wants to talk to an 82-year-old man. No, people aren't nice. You don't want to talk to people ever. No, you don't want to talk to neighbors.
We have had the cops here twice.
You've had the police here at your building or at your apartment?
One's down here.
Oh, down the hallway. Oh, so you've already had a little dust up. That never happened when the movie stars lived here. They never had to worry about the police. All they had to worry about was, Danny DeVito in the bushes with a camera talking to Kevin Spacey and giving him tips. Yeah. It's on the QT and very hush-hush, folks, this building. Yeah, so that's where we're at. We're in a new location. So it's a new season, a new year 3, new location, and new plans and new things are afoot for this show. I want to make sure that I get to them all. I don't know. Why would I say that? I talk. That's all I'm going to do. What am I going to do? Look, I'm wrapping it up, folks. That's in year 3. I will tell you that show's going to be a lot shorter,
Yeah.
and it can't help but be a lot fucking shorter, can it? The last show was like 2 hours and 15 minutes. Before that, $1.48. Jesus Christ, I got to slow the fuck down. And I do look. I recognize a lot of you are very nice, and you always write me, and you're like, dude, we like hearing you talk that long. Thank you. You're very nice. I enjoy getting those letters as opposed to the people who are like, you need more guests, and you need to shut up and tell that girl to stop laughing. Thank you for letting me know what you think I should do with my show that I've done for well over 2 years now. Not well over 2 years, a day over 2 years. Yeah, literally one episode over 2 years. But that's well over, quite frankly. Who thought it would last this long? Anybody? No, nobody did. Who thought to themselves that I would still be babbling to myself in year 3? Absolutely. I can tell you one person who did not, Mike Schmidt. He had no fucking idea. When you think to yourself, who didn't think that? Mike Schmidt. That's who. And by the way, hi, I'm Mike. I don't know if you're aware. I'm your host, Mike Schmidt, and I truly did not think there was going to be a year 3. But there's a reason I've decided to do a year 3, and I will tell you all about it and let you know exactly why there's a year 3. What are you laughing at?
It's all about the money. That's what you
Listen, it's the big cash that I'm bringing in, folks. I got to tell you, it's about time I monetize this motherfucker because I've talked to you guys enough. You know, you could do this. Hell, if you had my phone number, you would get the same exact show for free. But now I have to figure out a way to somehow make money off of it, and that's where you folks come in. That's where you folks can really make a difference. I am very excited about that. So I look forward to touching base with all of you on an individual basis. I can't wait to talk to each and every one of you about what we're going to do in year 3. You know what? Check that. I'm just going to go ahead and talk to you about it here. I'll talk to you en masse because it doesn't make sense to call you all one-on-one, does it? No, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I talk about it on this show, and then we'll all figure out exactly where we're going, and we're going there together. How does that sound?
You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy, and later, The Jerk-Off Journals. You'll never find two guys with stronger wrists.
So you put the duct tape on the end of the roll, and then once all the pudding's in there, you're good to go.
That's the move. That sounds good.
Yeah.
You have to write that down for me.
Okay.
You ever jerk off for danger?
What do you mean?
Well, you ever punch? I did this. I punch a couple of holes in the top of a soda can to widen up the top, and you jerk off quick using the soda can. You lube it up, of course, but you do it to see if you can come before you're hurting.
Before you cut your penis.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to get off before you can't stand it anymore. It's like the same principle works when you fill like a sock with aquarium rocks.
These guys are a handful. The Jerk-Off Journals on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
Nice. And now back to The 40-Year-Old Boy. Already in progress.
Episode 1 of year 3 continues now. Hi. Folks. Things don't change, do they? Things never change. You just wind up in a room talking to yourself. It doesn't matter if it's real life or comedy life or podcasting life. You inevitably will wind up in a room with yourself. You can't get away from yourself. That's all you got. That's all I have. And I like me. I don't mind me. I'm a fan of me. I think we all know how much I enjoy me, but also I conversely hate me. I don't like me much, but I do like me. I don't like things I do. Let's put it that way. And I can tell you that there are people out there who also don't like things that I do. Here's what I'm talking about. Year 3 brings with it change. As we've mentioned, we're already in a new location. I'm in the building that Douglas Sirk filmed many, many years ago in black and white. And it's still, quite frankly, with the paint on the walls, I wish it were still in black and white. It is not an attractive building. It's nice. Again, other than that crazy funk that smells like, Gabby Hayes' ball sack. But other than that, it smells fine to some people, I'm sure, but I don't enjoy it. All right. But it's okay. The building itself is old, but this house is nice. But again, I can't wait until July. Oh, God, is that going to be horrible? We're going to have to get like fans and a spritzer. We have them? You went out and bought a bunch of... I need an industrial...
I have a fan and a spritzer.
I don't know what you have. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I got Ronald. You know what? We could actually put a hose in Ronald's mouth and I would just spray water on it. That would be fine, like a mister. He's a Mr. Ronald. A Ronald, Mr. Ronald. Folks. So I had great plans for what year 3 would be. Once I decided to do it, again, I wasn't going to. And then I decided, well, you have to do this because, quite frankly, what else do I have? I got nothing. I got fucking nothing at all. If I stopped doing it, there would be nothing for me to do. I would still do this. It's just nobody would be recording it or listening to it for posterity. And then I'd be like, God damn, I'm hilarious for nobody. As opposed to now where I'm hilarious for one person. And then hopefully other people download it. But I had ideas for year 3, man. I had plans, big plans, folks. One of which was the redoing of the MikeSchmidtComedy.com website. And I can tell you, some of you may already know this because I put out a call. I got out a bugle and summoned all possible web people to help me and be involved in some way. And there were people who were very nice and wanted to try to do it. My friend Sue, online friend, Sue. I've never met Sue, but she's very nice and always been very complimentary of me. Check out her Chain of Fools podcast. Sue's very good and very nice. One week, I forgot to even mention this, I think. Or did I mention Sue? Sue does the Chain of Fools podcast, and one week she just played my show instead. Because her co-host was sick, so she actually wrote me a note. Goes, hey, would you mind if I just played a whole episode of your show, like to try to get some crossover audience and have people who like me like you too? Because I said yeah, go ahead. So she played a whole episode, and she did it. I go, do you want me to come on and do like a little interview or an intro, or we could talk in the beginning? No, because she doesn't want to talk to me, quite frankly, and I don't blame her. But she's like, literally, no, typing is all that I want to do with you right now, but I would love to be able to play your episode. And I said, yeah, go ahead. So I listened to it, and it was her saying, hey, you know what? Because her co-host, I believe, is Mike, and she said, Mike is sick, but I want to play for you what is my very favorite podcast, and it's the 40-Year-Old Boy, and she played it from beginning to end. And then there was no bookend at the end. She just let it end, let the music take it out. I thought she'd at least come on and say, hey, that's it. Nope, done. Adios. And that'll tell you just how egotistical I am. I listened to the whole thing. I listened because I'm like, I can't wait till the end when she says something cool about me. This is going to be so great. And I listened to I could have fast forwarded. Hell no. I'm going to listen to my whole episode because I want to see if I said anything different on her show. I want to see if somehow there was something that made me sound different or if I brought something else to the table. Nope, it was still the same. Still great. Still funny. And then I'm waiting for the end where Sue's going to come back end it by going, oh, my God, do I love this guy. And no, show just ended. But that's fine, I guess. But it was enough of a tribute for her to play it on her airwaves, which is fine with me. How did I get into Sue? That didn't sound good at all. How did I get on to Sue? I'm going to say everything that sounds vaguely dirty about Sue. All right, so yeah, the website. So Sue is a web person as well, and she offered to help me, and other people offered to help me as well. A gentleman named Stig came forward, and he had some ideas. And Adam was also involved. A few people. But I wound up settling on, there was another gentleman who had actually, a long time ago, when I had first started doing my website, he wrote me and was like, dude, do you know, this kind of scared me because my old web guy was a guy in Connecticut who I like a lot and was a good guy, but he's moved on. I mean, he's doing all sorts of interesting things, and he's got a lot more stuff on his plate, so he couldn't just be my web guy anymore. And also, I live upside down, so the 3-hour time difference was killing me, because then I would try to call him, and he wouldn't be in the office, and then we were missing each other constantly, and then I'd be bothering him via email, and I don't like bothering anybody, folks. This is going to get to the crux of the problem of what I'm about to get into. I don't like bothering anyone. I like to tell them, here's what I like. I like to tell people what I want, and then I want them to do it. That's what I like. I just want them to do what I say. That's all. I don't want to have to be clarifying. I don't want to have to be going do this, do that, and changing things. And because of that, folks, I have a perception of a guy who strangles things to death. I don't want to be that guy. I would love to just give someone, here's 5 things, do them, and then they do them, and everybody's happy. But instead, I wind up fucking micromanaging things, and again, this will sound familiar with my T-shirt experience from last year, folks, as I wound up doing the Skull Pie T-shirt and bothering the guys who went ahead and made that. But now, with the website, so all right, so other people offered to help, but this other gentleman, he said a long time ago, he was like, dude, do you know that you have this wrong with your website? He found, because I had a WordPress blog, which I think I still have now, because all right, go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You'll understand where I'm coming from right now, because it is the ghetto of the internet. I haven't updated it because I stopped updating the blog because the blog started to get those little an ampersand, like you would type in but it would put in like an exclamation point and a number sign. Like I don't know why Mac doesn't play well with WordPress. I don't fucking know what the problem was. All I know is the last update that I did, it made hieroglyphs, and then I said, well, I can't deal with the hieroglyphs. So then I went ahead. This is going nowhere. This is fucking awful. I am talking in circles and saying fucking nothing, which is usually what I do, but this time it's even less interesting than it ever is. Oh my Christ. Suffice it to say, I hated my website. Okay? Does that you understand? And you know what? That's not even fair to say. It just wasn't. When I got it, it was like in 2006. Okay, and it was fine because I had no web presence at all. So it was good to get that, and I liked it, and it was fine. But basically, this will sound weird. I've outgrown that web design, even though I've done nothing in the ensuing 3 years. Does that make sense? I have done nothing with my life. I have not moved in my career, and I think that's what I hate more than hating the website. I hate the fact that I have an appearances page that I haven't updated since 2008 because I haven't made any fucking appearances since 2008. It's got nothing to do with the website. It's got everything to do with fucking me. there's like a podcast page, and it's like, and I've added like Facebook and I've added Twitter, but then I tried to get them put on there, and it just. It was just a mess, and like I said, I'm mad at myself because again, I don't bring anything to the website. I didn't make it look good, and I had stopped blogging because the hieroglyphs. It just looked like a ghetto. So I'll tell you this makes me laugh. I hated it for all those reasons. Then when I was looking for somebody to redo my website, I put it out on the air, and some of you folks were very nice enough. I've mentioned some of them. I actually found a person who's done some other comedians' websites, and I wrote her. And I said, look, this is kind of what I'm looking for. Is there? I've seen these sites of these comedians. I like what you've done. Here's what I'm interested in. What do you think? And she wrote me the next day. And I will say that she does websites for big name comedians. Okay, that's the thing. It's not. So I didn't know what it was going to cost. I just wanted to get a general idea of even she was interested. And she wrote me back and said, hey, I went to your website. I'm glad that you're interested, but I got to tell you, going to your website, you really should start blogging again. There's nothing more depressing than going to a blog on the internet that's been discontinued and hasn't been updated. I go to your website now and none of it's been updated. It just doesn't look good. You really should keep updating your website. And then proceeded to tell me what she could do. Quite frankly, you could have stopped typing at the end of the first paragraph because fuck you. Who are you? Person who's never met me. The reason I'm looking for you, like I didn't tell her I had stopped doing my website for a reason because I had outgrown it. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do. She didn't even bother to say, oh, well, how come you stopped blogging? How come you stopped putting appearances? Nothing. She just immediately launched into this fucking diatribe in the first paragraph of, nothing more depressing than seeing a website because I agree with that. I completely agree with it. There's a comedian friend of mine. I won't say his name, but he had a website and it just disappeared. Like, it's up now as if it's almost like, remember the film AI where Haley Joel Osment lived forever and he was trying to wait for the Blue Queen or the White Witch or whatever the fuck he was trying to meet. And at the end of the movie, he's sitting in a spaceship and underwater. And I might not be remembering this movie properly, but still, suffice to say, that's the name of the show, by the way. Suffice to say, as I keep saying that over and fucking over. It's like when you have a website and then you stop doing it, it just sits there for all eternity on the web. People can go. It's like I think bookmeforyourwake.com still exists, even though we've never updated it. We didn't pay anything. It was a one-time joke, but it will be there forever and ever. And there's nothing you can do about it, folks, quite frankly, until we decide to take it down. That joke will be there. Someday someone will type in book and wake, and that will come up, and they will laugh. They will be like, what did this mean? I don't know what this means. I will have been dead for 150 years, but it will still be out there on the goddamn web for them to take a look at. And that's how I feel about my website. It's just this dead-end ghetto of a website, and that's why I need to change it. So to have her write me and then scold me about it, like, dude, why the fuck do you think I'm contacting you in the first place? Because it needs to be updated and fixed. That's the whole goddamn point. All right. So I wind up getting this new guy on board, and he actually exposed flaws in my website to me. Like 6 months ago, he wrote me and goes, hey, by the way, do you know that I can find all of your information if I go here and I go here? So he knew who I was and how it was registered and the names behind it and all the stuff that I don't care to know. He knew because somehow there was he's Matthew Broderick in War Games, and he's able to go ahead and he's about to find a back door and exploit everything that I've done. So he told me then he would be happy to update it, but instead I contacted my web guy and he went ahead and updated it and did the things that he needed to do, and that was fine. But I'd always kind of stayed in contact with this gentleman, and then I wrote him this time and said, look, you had said that you were interested in helping me with my website and updating it and doing the things. Are you on board now? Because I need to do it. And he wrote me back. He's like, yeah, I think I could do that. And he quoted me a price. It was a price that I could agree to, and I went ahead and told him what I needed and what I wanted, and he was on board with it. And so concludes the least interesting 45 seconds that I've ever uttered in my life. I don't get it. Literally, this episode is proving why I should not have done a year 3, quite frankly. So basically the bottom line is I'm getting my website redone. Told him I wanted it done by April 1st. He said that wouldn't be a problem. Here we are, April 1st. Website not done. No fault of his, I will tell you this, because what it is it became more complicated as I explained to him what I wanted, and there's also a third person involved in this website. That sounds shady. My buddy Mex has helped me with the website, and Mex got sick. Mex wound up getting he had to have surgery, and so he was down for 2 weeks, so that put everything back by 2 weeks. And also this, the guy who's helping me, he's got like a job and like a real life, and he's just he took on my project because he thought it would be fun. Uh, and the weird thing is, he listens to this show. How could he ever think taking on a project that involved me would be fun? Dude, year 2, episode 1, all I did was talk about how I fucking micromanaged my T-shirt into dust. And you're coming on board to do the website thinking it'll be fun? Yeah. Good luck. And I can tell you, he's finding out differently every second of every day. I have backed way off. I mean, I told him what I wanted and what I wanted to have done and stuff like that, and he's been very cool, and he's implemented everything that he possibly could. And we run into problems, and I'm dumb. I have no concept of what it means to do things. I just think you tell people something and it gets done. The end. Not realizing that there's a complication, or maybe this can't fit, or maybe the thing that you had mentioned doesn't work. And I will tell you this though: we don't talk, me and this guy. That's the smart thing that he's decided to do. He wants to just contact me through email. He wants to go back and forth that way. And good for him, because he doesn't need to have me constantly going, hey, what's going on, buddy? How's it looking over there? Which is fine. And I've respected that. And I've tried to do everything I could via the email as well. What's funny is I also have 80 emails in my email box to and from this guy. But at the same time, if I was talking to him, I'm a verbal guy. I think we all know that, right? Christ, that's why I do this goddamn show. It's like, and even though I've done everything I could to possibly disprove that I was interesting or verbal in any single way. Oh, well, actually, I'm certainly verbal. We all know that I'm verbal, but whether or not it's anything that you want to pay attention to, you can go ahead and fucking decide for yourself, because I think I've thrown the last shovelful of dirt on me being interesting, quite frankly. I go ahead and I wind up dealing with this guy via email, but now I have to talk to him tonight, and that'll be fun. I'm not angry or upset. I'm just mad at happenstance. I'm just mad, period. All right, let's face that. But I'm just mad that I had plans, folks. Plans, big plans. Here's the plans I had. So year 3 was going to launch on April 1st, and then the website itself was also going to launch on April 1st, and that would mean that I could sell the year 2 download set on April 1st, because that is where you'll be able to find it at the new website. But unfortunately, that isn't the case. And I'm not going to put it up on my old website, because that's not going to be in existence very much longer. And quite frankly, it's the ghetto of the internet. Why do I want to put shiny new year 2 download set? It's like parking a Maybach in an alley. We don't want to do that. It would be like, you know what? It would be like putting a fresh coat of paint on Lily's building. There's no reason to do it. It's old. That's that. There's no reason to try to gussy it up or make it look better in any particular way. This is old, and you got to deal with it. That's the way it is. So that's how I feel about my website. It's old right now, and you got to deal with it. Until it's relaunched, there's no reason to put any new stuff on there. That's why I haven't updated it. And I'm waiting for big-time webmistress to go ahead and write me a note and say, hey, why don't you go ahead and put them on there? No, fuck you. Why are you lecturing me? God damn it. I don't even think I wrote her back, because I can't even, because literally, you ever see those, like the Night Gallery, where the guy gets a killer's hands instead of his own hand? Yeah. And then he wakes up and he's choking a guy, and he's like, fuck, why am I choking this guy? Well, because your hands wanted to. Well, that's what my hands wanted to type. They wanted to type this evil message to this chick, and I'm like, dude, stay as far away from the keyboard as you possibly can. You cannot. And then I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm typing, you whore. What are you doing? Why is she a whore? She just had a different opinion than you. I don't care. My hands are killers. Stop! Stop typing, killer hands. Stop ruining relationships. That's what I blame it on, folks. If you ever get a bad letter from me, I have evil hands. They're possessed. In the middle, I'm asleep. When that letter gets typed, I'm asleep. So if you ever hear anything mean from me, it's not me. It's my hands. I can't control them. They're out of control. All right. See? They're out of control. They grabbed Lily's leg right there. They couldn't stop themselves. All right. So I had grandiose plans. I had a year 3 launch and a website launch, and the year 2 download sets would have been available, and there was also going to be merchandise available for you folks. That's right, merchandise. Last year we did the Skull Pie T-shirt, and I'll tell you what, there's no better feeling than selling 10 T-shirts. That makes you feel like a man. That's a lie. I sold like 40 the first day, which was great. Unfortunately, that was it. No, I'm teasing. I don't know what the actual numbers were. Suffice it to say, I did okay. And more importantly, I've made good friends with the guys who made the shirts. We constantly email back and forth, and we talk to one another and tell each other exactly how great we are. All right, so That's a lie. They found it, literally. You know who typed them? Killer Hands. Killer Hands wrote them a note, and that was it. But I can tell you, I wanted to have merchandise available, and so there is merchandise available, ladies and gentlemen. I will tell you that right now. Yay! All right, that is something that did work. Right now, if you go to Zazzle.com/40-year-old-boy. And that's with the number 40. You got to make sure, as always, you got to use the number 40. But if you go to Zazzle.com/40-year-old-boy, you will see the 40-year-old boy store at Zazzle.com. And we've got some introductory products for you to peruse and purchase. What do we have there? We have what is that? Oh, that's that's pretty neat, folks. We have at the Zazzle store. Designed by my friend Max, who we're all familiar with. You know my buddy Max. And we have, look, I have a weird mix of old people and college people who listen to this show. So, and people listen to me in their office and things like that. So we were trying to figure out what to sell. And the thing is, at Zazzle.com, dude, you could sell anything. Like, I think I could actually make a car with my face on it and sell it to you guys, because that's what Zazzle does. They've got tons of products. Why do I keep saying products? You know why? Because I want to say projects. Like, I keep wanting to say projects. Listen, go back and listen to when I say products. It's products. I keep saying it because I want to say projects. I'm stupid. But who would say projects like that? Nobody. All right. So if you go to Zazzle.com/the40-year-old-boy, folks, you will see that we have an array of coffee mugs and travel mugs available for you to purchase, as well as a mouse pad. There's a mouse pad with my big head on it. That's right, because people use mouse pads, right? Because it's a computer show. In my head, I was like, well, what if I came up with a flash drive with my face on it? It's too small. Like, I couldn't, and quite frankly, I don't even think Zazzle sells a flash drive. It's the one thing they don't sell. Literally, you could order a breakfast with my face on it from Zazzle. That's the depth and breadth of the product line that they have. But instead, we've gone with coffee mugs, and we've gone with travel mugs, and each of those has a different design on them. I should say there's 3 different designs, and each design is on a coffee mug and a travel mug. And each one of them features a saying from the show. Panda Boy, who's the logo of the show, is there, and you can go ahead and pick him up, and he's got a. I'm not going to lie to you folks. He's got that underneath him. Go look. Why am I even going to tell you what they are? Why should I break it down? But I will tell you one thing that we definitely have. We have the Stripple T-shirt available. Lily's very happy. It is a T-shirt that has, if you recall, in year 2, Lily, our friend Lily Von Stupp, she's the producer, and she's a dancer, a romancer. I'm a Capricorn and she's a Cancer, but she's a burlesque dancer, but I will often call her a stripper because she takes her clothes off. She might not take all of them off all the time, but sometimes she does. So I call her a stripper. And then when she hurt her knee, she wound up hurting her knee at a show last year, doing a particularly difficult dance move, and wound up in a horrible cast. And I said, you know what? I said, Lily, you're like a stripple, which is like a stripple, which is a crippled stripper or a stripping cripple. I was like, that was the definition of what a stripple was. So then we thought about it. We're like, you know what? That would actually be funny on a T-shirt. So it would have stopped there, except we mentioned it to our good buddy Max, who then drew basically Lily. He drew a stripple, which is a crippled stripper. It's a silhouette of a stripper with a cast on the pole, and with the definition of stripple, which is a stripping cripple or a crippled stripper. Either one works under Webster's. And that's on a T-shirt. And on the back, of course, you'll see the 40-year-old boy at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. So the Stripple T-shirt is available, along with the mugs and the mouse pad and all that kind of stuff. So I can tell you now, go now to Zazzle.com/40-year-old-boy and check out the merchandise and buy one of each. Why not? And don't forget you're going to be also purchasing the year 2 download set. Folks, I am cleaning out your wallet. I am. You know what? I'm like in an old cartoon, like when they would take the old tax man would come with a vacuum and he would stick it in your pocket and steal all your cash. That's who I am, buddy. I'm here. I've got a blizzard of mouse pads and mugs and T-shirts and download sets, and I'm coming for you, and I'm coming for your fucking cash.
You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network. Coming up next, Bitch Slap.
With many touchdowns and many yards in receiving. That is why I think that Devin Hester is the best football player that is on the Bears. The end.
Very good, Thomas. Okay, Clark, your turn now. Come on up and read your report.
My hero is the 40-year-old boy. He is my favorite friend from my computer. He lives in California with Karen. When my dad takes me on the weekend, we listen to the 40-year-old boy and laugh a lot. The 40-year-old boy also lives with Lily. She takes off her clothes, has big boobies, and she laughs a lot too. One time, the 40-year-old boy talked to a lady with a zipper down and forgot about it. The 40-year-old boy's real name is Mike, and he is my hero, even though he is not really 40. The end.
Thank you, Clark. Looking forward to your parent-teacher conference.
The 40-year-old boy, shaping young minds on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
No, I'm not going to lie to you folks. I don't want this whole thing to sound like a naked cash grab. I mean, it's just... This whole thing is still about entertainment. Present episode accepted. You know what's funny? Because I probably have new listeners who are here for the first time because they heard the last episode of year 2, and then they got on board via the Rock Sugar bandwagon. And they're going to listen to this and be like, dude, when are you going to talk to somebody? I'm not going to talk to anybody, folks. I talk to me. That's it. And I probably wisely, what I should have done is I should have told a story in this episode. But I wasn't going to. I said to myself, I said, touch base on the fact that it's year 3 and explore what that's going to mean to people and what that's going to mean to you. And I'm regretting it 45 minutes in. I'm not going to lie to you. I think I should have gone ahead and done just a regular episode. I've purposely decided not to have content. That's not smart. That's not smart at all when you're talking by yourself, folks. I can tell you that when you purposely make an effort to not include anything interesting, that's antithetical to what you're trying to accomplish with your show. I can tell you that right now. And I can tell you that from firsthand experience, as I've learned that over the past 45 minutes. I think we're all learning it together, folks. Although some of you may have left about 20 minutes in. You might have said, you know what, I can't deal with it. But it's year 3, folks. It's exciting, right? We're all excited. I'm excited. We got new theme music. We got new closing music. Make sure you listen to the new closing music. Fantastic stuff. Amazing. Again, all of the good things about year 3 are what Mex and Lily bring to the table. I often say, I wonder what Mex and Lily have planned for me today. This is what they have planned. They have their great stuff planned. They have, we've got the Zazzle store, which is new. We've got the new theme music. We've got, I think we may have gone to break a couple times, and there may have been, because again, the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network is doing nothing but catching fire. So I think you may have heard, not only have we drawn new advertisers, but some of the shows have updated their content, and you may have heard that as well. So that's exciting. But here's what I wanted to talk to you folks about year 3 and what it's going to be. I need your help. All right. And I say that knowing full well I'm probably going to ignore all of your help. But I put this out there because what I want year 3 is what I want year 3 to be and what the goal is moving toward. Folks, I'm writing a one-man show. Okay. And I want you to kind of come along on the creation of that show. I don't know if that's going to be interesting for you at all. And the show's not going to be completely different. It's not like I'm going to sit here and go, well, I typed today. I mean, it's not going to be that fucking horrible. It certainly won't be as boring as this fucking show has been. But what I mean is I'm doing a one-man show because there was a guy who listens to the show who wrote me last year, actually. He wrote me a while ago. And when I say last year, I mean early in 2009. And he wrote me saying that he wanted to help me produce and direct a one-man show. And he also wanted to put my show in the Fringe Festival in New York City. So I was like, that sounds like a great idea. What do I need to do? And unfortunately, this guy is not Eric Butterfield. He can't do all the work, and then all I do is talk. And he's not the Lily Von Stove who's just going to do all the work, and all I get to do is talk. I actually have to do some work when it comes to the one-man show. Because the people at the Fringe Festival in New York want to see a script. What? Who do those people think they are? How dare you ask me for a script? Can't you hear me talking? I'm living my script, goddammit. So I talked to this guy, and he's like, well, what you need to do is you need to compile a script because they need to go ahead and okay it, and then they'll put me up in a theater and all that kind of stuff. And he was saying that he thought that I would be good for it and it would work out perfectly. And I said, okay, great. So then 2009 ticked away, and I never got the opportunity to really create a script for the show, but also part of the reason for that was that I never was able. I wouldn't have been able to put it up. That was more important than anything. I could create the show and figure out what it was going to be, but at the same time, I need to go up on stage and actually be funny in front of people. That's the problem. I need to go ahead and remember what it's like to be funny on stage in front of people, and I need to do it within the context of whatever this one-man show is going to be. So he had needed a script for approval by February of this year, which was a couple of months ago or whatever, and I told him, eventually I wrote him in January, and I go, look, obviously we're not going to make the deadline this year, but I am absolutely in for next year. Is this still something you're interested in? Because people will show me that they're interested, and then they will see that maybe I'm not returning that interest at 100% wattage. I mean, there are people who actually work, folks. They'll actually decide that something should be done, and then they do it. Fucking hard to believe, I know. But then they run into me, and they're like, dude, you should do something. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. You know who I am? I'm like a stoner who doesn't get high. I mean, I'm a guy who just like, I'll just go, yeah, man, that sounds great. Hey, we got any more of that pizza? And then I'll eat pizza for 4 months and forget that I thought that was a good idea. So those people will, with all their ambition and all of their encouragement and all of their want for me, will then run into the huge wave of sloth that I bring to the table. And that will send them scurrying the other way because they don't want to get caught in the tsunami of my laziness. And I don't blame them. Okay? So I had to write this guy in January and go, look, obviously this isn't going to work for this year because I didn't come up with a script really, but also B, more importantly, I never got the chance to go ahead and put the show up and bring it to people and hone it and make it good and make it become exactly what I wanted it to be because I'll be honest with you folks, I don't fucking know what my one-man show would be. I don't know what it's going to be. And that's part of the reason I'm throwing this out to you folks. I'm interested in hearing what you think would work on stage in the context of a one-man show. Again, this does not mean I'm going to do what you say. Please understand that. This entire industry, my entire history is littered with bodies in my wake of people who thought I was going to do what they would say. That is not the case. But I am extremely interested in finding out what you folks think would work on stage. I know that the 7-Eleven story is something that people want to see me retell. There are other stories actually that I've told in other venues that have not been brought up in this show and will eventually. I'll get to them, I'm sure, at some point. And I also, again, the one-man show for the comedian is also a very, there's a lot of pitfalls. One of them, you don't want to take a left turn down Maudlin Avenue. I mean, you just don't want to wind up, but also then at the same time, I need to recognize that some of my best stories are stories that maybe made you go, oh, wow. I got a lot of feedback on Audio Karen. I got a lot of feedback on Smells Like Thursday last year, the Sadcast the first year, Green, Yellow, Red, Green, Yellow, Red. These are stories that people liked hearing. And I also don't mind bringing them to the stage. I just need to find a way to make it all work. And what I want you to do is, and again, if you're not interested in this, please tell me that too. Tell me to fuck off. I don't mind, because I write me a note. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Dear Mike, fuck off. Sincerely, a listener, a period listener. But I'm interested to find out what you guys think, I guess, and I want you to come along as I create this. And as you've come along these first 2 years, as I've created them when we talk, I not created them, related them in the context that I related them. But creating the one-man show, it's so funny. People always say to me, they're like, dude, a one-man show is like an hour long. You just did a show that was an hour and 48 fucking minutes long. How can that be daunting for you? How can that be something that you can, I can't explain it. I really can't. I don't know why. I don't know why. You know why? Maybe this is why. Because I have no filter here. I have no rules. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can bore you to fucking tears with a horrible story about my website that went nowhere in the middle of this fucking show. And you can decide whether to turn it off or whether to stay with me. And I'm lucky enough that a lot of people find me interesting or entertaining and have decided to stay with me because they know eventually there's going to be a payoff. Quite frankly, I am disproving that with this episode. But who knows? Maybe there'll be a payoff. Stick around. But I guess that's why it's daunting to me because on stage too, I have to make you guys laugh. I don't have to make one person laugh. I have to make everybody laugh. And I also have to make people who don't fucking know me laugh. And I've done that for years. Weirdly, I've been a comic for 20 years. I'm not scared of going on stage and doing fucking stand-up. I love it. I relish it. I revel in it. I do a lot of things to it, apparently, that I can go ahead and tell you about. And I will also tell you this. I make this pledge right now, folks. Lily Von Stoep will not be coming to my one-man show. because I here's why, folks. I hosted the Monday Night Teas a couple of weeks ago, okay, and it was kind of a stiff show because it was a group of people who don't usually when I host that show. There's a lot of regulars who are familiar with me and what I do. So they kind of fall into the pocket with me, and I feel like I can go ahead and vamp and goof around. It almost becomes like this podcast where I can tell a story and talk and do a lot of asides and just be funny off the cuff. Well, that particular show did not have a lot of regulars who weren't familiar with what I do, so they were basically saying, hey, you going to be funny at any point here? Are you going to prove it? So what I have to do at that point then is my job, which is become a comic and make people laugh. So the show starts, and it's kind of stiff up top. I'm not going to lie to you, and it's a lot of that is my fault because I'm lazy. I think that I'm brilliant, so I'm just going to show up and be me and do the things that I do, and then they're going to fall in line with it, and everybody's going to be happy, and we're all going to have a good time. But this particular show, no, it didn't happen. They weren't falling for my trickery. They weren't stepping into my verbal bear traps and realizing how funny I was. They weren't having it basically, and the worst part about that is Lily's off to my left. She's stage left. And after the first couple things just to do okay, Lily starts laughing like she laughs on this podcast. Okay. Now, she will tell you she did it because she thinks I'm hilarious. And she was laughing. But I've been to her show. And I've seen other hosts completely get starched by the crowd. Like where they're not getting any response and nobody's laughing at them. And Lily will laugh uproariously because she's trying to get, you know what it is? It's the, hey, we're all having a good time here, right? Laugh. Where she's trying to, ha, 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 everybody fall in line and laugh because this is great. And so I do two jokes that kind of stiff, and she starts laughing hard. And she's the only one laughing in the room. And dude, I could not tell you how insulted I was that she felt that she needed to give me the boost laugh that she gives to other people who suck. I was so mad. She's shaking her head no, and she doesn't want to say anything here. You maintain that this is not true.
It's not true. Because what you said is, you went, okay, well, let me tell you this. And you started to tell the story. And I knew the story. And I started laughing because I knew what was coming. I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. I was laughing because I'm like, oh, fuck, this is funny. And I started laughing. And then you turned and looked at me like...
Okay, well, now that Lily is done lying, here's what really happened. No, so maybe that's true. Okay, maybe that is true, but it doesn't matter because in my head, all I hear her is trying to prop me up with laughter. And I'm like, dude, I've been a comic for 20 years. I can fucking dig my way out of this, okay? I don't need you to help me here. It's not like the podcast where it's just me and you. I mean, honestly, my job right now is to make these other people laugh. I got you hip-pocketed. So if there's a way you could somehow put a clamp on, and it drove me crazy, dude. I mean, I then did a few more bits, and she kept laughing hard to the point where the audience didn't think I was as funny as she was. So then they were starting to look at her like, what the fuck? Are we wrong or is she wrong? Is she wrong or are we wrong? What's happening here? Because this guy is not as funny as she thinks he is. And again, all of this could be inside my head. Let's go ahead and speculate on that now. A lot of this could be, inside my fucking head because all I hear is her mocking laughter as I do bits that hit the wall in the back of the room because nobody's grabbing them, like nobody's laughing. And I was going to tell a long form story. Okay, I was going to tell the story I was going to tell that week was the story of when Karen and I went to the movie theater and we saw Up in the Air, and the old man was there and he came up to me afterwards. You know, folks, that's in year 2. That's a download set you can purchase once I get a website. So I was going to tell that story, so I started to ramp up and tell that story, and Lily starts cracking up laughing, and because she says she foresaw the conclusion and knew that it was going to be funny, but all I saw was a room full of people not getting it and not interested in it, and wondering why the fuck she was trying to prop me up with her laughter. So that's why I make this solemn. I swear to you that Lily Von Stopp will not come to my one-man show. That's a lie. Of course, she will come at some point. Believe me, once I do the first 2 and they bomb, I'll drag her there. She might be, it might be a one-man, one-woman show. She might have to just sit on stage and laugh in a corner. You know what I mean? Just like fucking guffaw. And that's what I'll call the show, guffaw. So that was a funny laugh. So basically my point is, I'm going to create this one-man show, and I think it would be interesting and fun if you guys came along with me as I created it, because you've been there all along as I became who I am now as a performer. When I started this show, man, I was nervous as fuck. I did not know how it was going to work, especially to sit in a room and talk by myself and try to be funny. I didn't know if it was going to be able to swing. And you know what? I've been able to fool everybody for 104 episodes. Well, foolishly, I've signed up for 52 more. I have no idea why I'm going to fool them, but the reason I signed up for 52 more was because I thought this would be a fun experiment to do, and also because, you know what? I've never really tried to sell this show the way I think it should be sold. I've never really tried to garner notice. I've mainly been discovered by people. I've been found via word of mouth. People who've listened to me have referred me to friends and told them that they like me. And there were people who liked me from Never Not Funny and were on board and listened to it from the beginning. And I've also lost a ton of people in that amount of time because either they're not interested in what I do or they, don't have the time to spend 2 hours listening to a madman fucking ramble into a goddamn headset. I have no idea. And believe me, there is a lot of podcasting competition out there now. When I first started doing this, when I was starting with Jimmy and them, and again, here's these kids today. But when we did it, it was like Gervais and us. That's basically it. And it was funny when Jimmy did Never Not Funny. He would say to me, he'd go, "Dude, I want to be the first guy that did this. I also don't want to be the guy who got left behind when these get famous. I want to make sure that I plant my fucking flag." And granted, I'm interpreting Jimmy's words. He didn't say those things, but he was saying, look, I want to be kind of the guy. And he was and is. But it's so funny, in the interval, now you've got Adam Carolla. And by the way, Adam Carolla now has a podcasting network. I'm not going to say that he took the idea from me because he has no fucking idea who I am. But it makes me laugh that I had the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network, and then 6 months later, all of a sudden there's the Ace Broadcasting Network, except the difference is he has real shows. All right. I do too. It's just they're not up yet. Eventually, these guys are all workshopping their shows. Big James and Chewy, everybody, the Pod Gods, all those people are just going ahead and making sure that their shows get really good before I'm able to put them on the air. But but that's what's happened in the interval, man. It's kind of exploded. And there are still people who have no fucking idea what the podcast is, but then there are people who know that Chris Hardwick is fucking hilarious and has the Nerdist podcast. And like I said, there's Adam Carolla out there doing his podcasts, and he's now got in his broadcasting network. Like I thought the Velvet Rope with Big James and Chewy was a silly name until I saw Spider and the Henchman or whatever the fuck. Like that sounds like something I would have made up, right? But instead, that's a real show on the Adam Carolla Podcasting Network. And Daves of Thunder is another show that he's come up with. I mean, it's like, again, these sound like shows I would have made up, quite frankly. But that's fine. I didn't. But it's becoming something. And I think that I've never really given it its due. You know what I mean? It was always something that I just kind of did. And I never went out and toured. I never did live shows. I never tried to gain any sort of support for this. And I think this is going to be the time now this year where I try to get people on board. And this would have worked a lot better if I had a website to explain to you what I was going to be doing, because the website will be a lot more. I don't want to say interactive, but it'll be updated every day with photos or with blog entries or even small things. And I'm hoping to bring Twitter and Facebook and my website all kind of together to where it's an experience that you need to go to all three to kind of know who I am. And also, God, this is going nowhere too now, is it? Or am I? Sorry, see, the fact that you're laughing indicates that it's going nowhere, because you would have looked at me and said no.
No, I like the way you just, like, 5 times during the show, you're like, this is going nowhere.
Because I don't feel like I've caught any traction.
You're just not telling a story, so it's...
I know, because I just feel like I'm just talking. But basically the bottom line is, folks,
Out of your head!
I can't get out of my head. That's where I live. So basically, I want feedback. I want you people to let me know what you think would be good stories to do in the one-man show. And also, I'm going to be doing this one-man show places. I don't know where just yet. I can guarantee you for sure I'll be doing it. Yeah, I'll be here in the old building. Sure. It's big enough. Yeah, there's a lobby downstairs. We'll put on a show. And I'll have 800 old people and their dogs come down and visit me. But I can tell you this, folks. I will be putting it up in Los Angeles at some point. I'm assuming it's going to be in the fall because I have to create it and figure out exactly what it's going to be. But I can tell you this for sure. I'm going to be in San Francisco in August. I don't have the dates yet, but there's a page. If you go, I will put it up on my page tonight when I update everything. But at the same time, you can go. There's a fan page to bring Mike Schmidt to San Francisco, and we were trying to see how many people would be, wanting me up there, and it turns out maybe not a lot. But it doesn't fucking matter to me, quite frankly, because I'm going to go up there. Bucky Sinister is a cool guy who's decided that we're going to rent a theater and we're going to fucking do this. And I think I'm going to do 2 nights rather than just, we were going to have me come up for 1 night, but I think I'm going to do 2. And am I going to get crowds for both? I get no fucking idea. But, on Facebook, a lot of people signed up. Not really. Very few people signed up. I won't lie to you. But I also did hear from people who don't use Facebook, who live in the Bay Area, and said, you got to come up here. You got to do it. So I'm doing it. I'm going to be up there in August to do whatever I have. I mean, I have to figure out what the one-man show is going to be. I have to kind of create it, and maybe I do one night where I do the one-man show. One night I do stand-up. One night I just do this. Maybe I go up and I talk, and it's listeners to the show, and because I'm also doing it in a theater, I got to tell you, because if I did it in a club or in a bar, that would be a recipe for fucking disaster. So, I mean, it would be people going, is this guy going to shut up and breathe ever? How's that going to fucking work? So I'm going to try it in a theater, and like I said, in this fall I'm going to try to put it up in a theater here in Los Angeles and get it up as much as I possibly can, with the goal of being in New York next year in February. And I'd love you guys to come along and hang out, and like I said, not only contribute, and maybe I do stuff here on the podcast from it and then tell you what the lineup's going to be. I want you to be involved in creating it. I'm not saying I'm going to do what you say, but I am saying that what you say has weight, because inevitably you're going to be the people who are going to want to come and see this. So I want to make sure it's something that you guys would want to see, and something you think other people would want to see. And I this is going to sound awful, but tell your friends, man. Get people on board with the show. Try to get people to listen. And I know I make it difficult, because I do shows like this where I wind up circling back on myself and fucking cannibalizing myself, and then self-hatred comes bubbling to the surface. And I know it's not for everybody, man. I know it isn't. But I want to thank the people that it's for. And if you've got people that you think you can get involved, man, do it. That would be great, because I'm going to go out live and do more shows, and I'm going to do more stand-up in addition to trying to get this one-man show, and hopefully try to get people interested in coming along with this. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to do year 3, because I'm going to be writing the one-man show and figuring out exactly what that's going to be. And I would love to have you guys come along and check my website every day when it's there. Again. And again, this is no fault of the guy designing it. Like, people got sick, things fell behind, but I've seen, what I want it to be, and I'm excited for it when it's going to be up. And you'll see, there's going to be plenty of stuff. Once the website's up, I'll be able to talk about it more in detail, and I'll be very excited for that day. But right now, go to the Zazzle.com/40-year-old-boy and check out the merchandise. Again, you don't want to buy anything, I don't care, but go check out the merchandise, send feedback, put feedback there on the store. I think you're able to do that. And I should tell you, by the way, you guys can get me at Mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can get me at Facebook.com/40-year-old-boy. You know where you can't get me anymore? MySpace. Shut it down, folks. I figured, you know what? It's not working, so nobody's there, and that doesn't make any sense to me to maintain a presence on there, because if I keep a presence on there, then I got to keep updating it. And some of you are very nice and you keep checking it, or very few of you, I will be truly honest with you. I mean, I haven't had a friend request in months. You know what I mean? And people do check out the blog still every week. I'll have views of the blog, whatever. But it doesn't make any sense anymore. So we're gonna focus on Facebook and my website when it's up, and Twitter. You guys can go to twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy and go ahead and follow me there. And like I said, there'll be a lot more updating there as well. Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. Go ahead and be my friend there. That would be great. And remember, our friend Lily Von Stupp, you can go ahead and be her friend at Facebook. Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. Go ahead and be her friend as well. And if you want to send Lily an email that you don't want to send through Facebook because you don't want the Facebook police to check it out, go ahead and send her an email at lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Hey, all you fans of the 40-year-old boy, Mike's got new stuff to sell you, stuff he hopes you'll enjoy. Just what's for sale, of course we do not know. All we can tell you
is where you should go.
Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com. Here's your business. What kind of stuff's for sale? We already told you we don't know. 'Cause Mike made us record this song way back in February. So we can only speculate just what Mike will try to sell you. Maybe his face on a tambourine, or his own line of gardening equipment. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com, 40-year-old boy. Zazzle.com. Maybe his own line of high chairs. Zazzle.com. His face on your personal massager.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. Hey, Lily.
Hey, what?
Who's there this week?
Luna Rose from London.
Luna Rose from London will be here in that dingy, dank 3 of clubs. Who else?
Tuba is hosting.
Tuba. Of course Tuba's there. Why wouldn't Tuba be there? Tuba, you can look forward to Lily's encouraging laughter as she tries to boost your confidence while you're bombing. What's Tuba do?
Tuba is a full-time clown and juggler and magician and all-around awesome guy.
I enjoy you including full-time in there because it's like if you were like, he's a part-time clown and magician, people are like, I can't go to that fucking show.
Ringling Brothers clown as well.
Well, see, that's much more potent than full-time. I mean, I'm a full-time clown. I mean, it just...
This guy, I mean, I have a lot of friends who are magicians and jugglers and clowns. He's a full-time working, like, supports
He's like Eddie.
in the whole 9 yards.
He's like Eddie. He's like your clown, Eddie. All right, so yeah, this is a real deal clown. For some of you, that's a deal breaker. Maybe you don't want to go and see that. Maybe you're like, I don't want to see a guy wearing more makeup than the strippers, quite frankly. No makeup for Tuba?
I don't think
Tuba performing, he's unmasked. Tuba unmasked this week at the 3 clubs, Santa Monica and Vine, on his Lick It Up tour. So go see Tuba there hosting it. That'll be fine and exciting. And you can always go to the 3 clubs. And also you can go to burlesque411.com. Right? Is that where it is? Burlesque podcast. And she's got a burlesque podcast you want to go to. And go listen to all the... Oh, and I got to plug this. You know what? I did the Dave and Steve show, which was the Dave and Steve podcast there on Ustream as well as podcasting. So Google the Dave and Steve show and it'll come up. And I want to thank Dave and Steve and Tracy and Gretchen and the other 100 people who were in the studio because it's such a great idea to interview a guy with 5 fucking voices at once. Unbelievable. I mean, look, I liked it. It was great. Poor Tracy. I wanted to actually talk to Tracy. Tracy, he laid low. He didn't say a word. Literally, it was me talking to Dave, and Gretchen as well was also in there. And then Steve, who I think is via Skype, is chiming in every 4th second with something that nobody can understand because it's stepping on everything else. It was crazy. So I did a phone interview with them. It was very nice, and it was nice of them because they obviously listened to the show and liked this show until that last 45 seconds of me ruining them. But go check out the Dave and Steve show. So I was able to do that. And my appearance was just a couple of days ago, but I think it's ready on the web for you to check out now. And also remember to check out Chain of Fools, my friend Sue's podcast. She's very nice. And also check out the South Philly Paulcast, just because Paul keeps sending me things. I don't know why he does. And also the good thing, you know what? We have to keep South Philly Paul happy. We have to listen to his show because when I eventually do get to Philadelphia to go check out some Phillies games, I need a place to stay. So we need to make sure that South Philly Paul is on board with me and the show as long as I enjoy the Phillies and I need a place to stay when I go out to Citizens Bank Park. And I can't imagine a more fun place to stay than a guy who just happened to have Rick Springfield sheet music laying around his house. So boom, I'm in. So go check out his podcast and let's all be friends with South Philly Paul because he likes me and that's great. And now I'm going to eat some Persian food. That's where I'm going because that's my new obsession. Because folks, here's the thing. I find a place and then I'll eat there every day. And Karen's not like that. She's like, hey, she wants variety. She for some reason wants to eat a taco one day and then wants to go have like spaghetti one day. Fuck all that. God damn it. We're having shish tawuk and we're having it every goddamn day. Shish Tawuk, if you don't know, is chicken shish kebab, folks. There's a place by my house called Scaff's Grill that I can't stop eating at. And then they're closed on Sunday, so then I found this place called Rafi's Place, which is unbelievable food. Oh, my God. And it's like, rice with dill and lima beans or rice with cherries and chicken barg and huge plates of fucking food. And I believe me, the worst thing for me to eat, quite frankly, because it does not want to leave my body. Right now, I think I actually have a lamb in my colon. I have a live lamb in my colon, and he's dying because I'm not eating any food for him to graze on. All I keep eating is more lamb. I eat rice and pita and lamb and hummus and shish tawuk and kafta and kebe balls and dude, they make this lima bean and beef stew, and it's like a pot roast. Oh my God, damn, is it good? And not a vegetable in the lot. Like even the lima beans I think are made of pressed lamb. They're lima beans. That's what they are. I'm eating lima beans. Not lima beans. But and poor Karen should be like, hey, you want to go eat? Yeah, you want to go to Scaff's? No, I don't want to go to goddamn Scaff's. I like hummus, but not every goddamn day. So then she'll inevitably go get her thing, and then I'll go to the drive-thru, and I'll park at Scaff's, and I'll go run in and get food. And I told my mom that I'm eating Persian food. I'm like, I can't stop eating Persian food. She's like, what's that? I go, it's like shish tawuk, and I told her all that, and I say, my mom. I go, it's shish tawuk, and I can't remember the name of like I said, chicken barg and kafta. And then she goes, I guess when you move to California, that's the kind of stuff you eat. Mom, it's chicken on a stick. Seriously, it's just chicken on a stick, and they cook it on an open flame. Just because they have a different name for it. It's insane. Like my mom, I think she thinks I'm just making it up. Like I somehow walked into a place and sneezed and said, it's just tawuk. And they were like, oh yeah, we've got that. And they brought it to me because that's what California's like. My mom is just like, you get out there and you start eating those crazy things. Dude, we eat kielbasa in Chicago. Believe me, nothing out here is crazy compared to Why do I spit out this random bullshit that nobody fucking cares about? I am peddling obscenity. I am going to get a whole fucking army of you people, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to listen to me and then do nothing for an entire fucking week. I can't be trusted. Don't you people know this? It was like the Back to the Future of suck. I don't want to have a boner in somebody else's pants. I need to shoot up heroin and jog. Hey, ass fuck, are you listening to anything that I'm saying to you? Fuck, somebody's got to shut that old guy up. And I'm like, fuck you! I'm not a potato! I'm a goddamn cantaloupe! Hi, Mike. 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 Hi, Mike.